All right, you might want to hold on to something. We're coming up on the...
I don't see any wall.
Of course you don't. That's the point. It's a glamour woven by our ancestors to keep our village hidden from prying eyes. But don't take my word for it. Watch.
That was worse than a slug of Bacchus wine.
Clive, the sky.
It's blue, but how is that possible?
You do know what a glamour is, don't you? Ours just happens to work both ways, and a good thing too. I wouldn't fancy staring at those sickly clouds every day. And that concludes our little voyage. We're here. It's a long slog to the village, and a hard one. I hope you're up for a climb.
Finally.
What? You didn't think we'd arrived, did you? The village isn't up here. It's on the other side of the mountain.
Of course it is.
Watch yourself, Sid. This path can be treacherous. If not for the sheer drop, then for the beasts who prowl it.
Thank you for the warning. And please, call me Clive. Sid is an alias.
You will be pleased to learn, Lady Shuler, that I have no such aliases.
Is that so, Lord Margrace?
It's all the same to me. was wondering when they'd pick up our scent.
Stand back. We'll handle this.
Oh, will you now? Shall I keep my axe and spells to myself?
Earlier you mentioned spells, yet I see you carry no crystals.
Since when did a bearer ever need crystals?
But then, where is your brand?
Waiting for me in Sunbreck, if I ever get careless.
And it's in for a long wait.
We're almost at the summit. From there, you'll have a better view of our home. Few have ever set eyes on what I'm about to show you. Just so you know.
This is not what I expected.
Welcome, my friends, to Mysidia.
It's been a long time since I saw the North looking so
Alive.
I'm sure you have plenty of questions, but it's been a long journey, and I expect we could all do with a rest. Our humble village is only a short way from here, if you'd care to accompany me. Let's get ourselves in front of a fire, and I'll tell you everything you need to know.
It's beautiful. Shoot.
And we aim to keep it that way.
Are those stones glowing?
That's one of the cairns which maintain the glamour. Steer well clear.
Have care. If the surge was an act of rage,
One wonders what prompted it.
All yours, Torgal.
Could we not have spared ourselves the mountain crossing by landing further north?
In clear view of the bay.
On evening tides.
Does morning's light return?
Open Open the gates! The tributary is home!
Outsiders? Well, I never.
Look at the size of that dog.
All right now, back to your duties. You'll have to forgive my people their curiosity. We don't get many visitors. Or any, truth be told.
Then we are honored to be the first.
This is quite extraordinary. Like stepping into another world.
So do you believe me now?
You've made it difficult not to, my lady. But how did your people chance to settle here in the north? Unless I am much mistaken, the moats of water long called the coasts of southern Ash their home. Until Drake's Horn fell and the Blight forced them ever inland, where...
We met our doom, along with our dominant. I see you've read the Gregorian Church's account, but perhaps you'd like to hear ours. That building over there is the Witten Hall. It's where my people gather to discuss matters of import. We can speak more inside, once the place is ready to receive you. It shouldn't take long, but you're welcome.
Thank you. We'll do just that.
The stalks are thin. The leaves thin. Should dress the soil
I'm sorry, but I don't like it. Outsiders?
Oh, don't think I can carry another barrel up those steps. If I had a crystal, maybe?
Look, that one's got a black cape.
Look, and it's the outsiders.
Gosh. How long do you think this bridge has been stuck?
Suddenly, there were curls everywhere I looked.
Poor things are as pale as...
So what do you think of our little haven in the woods? It might not have all the comforts of a southern settlement, but at least it's ours.
And there's a lot to be said for that. It can't have been easy keeping this place a secret.
Not easy, no. We've dedicated our lives to maintaining the glamour that conceals us. Us and Walius.
This man, Walius, is he Leviathan's dominant?
That's right. Though he's no man, Walius is still a baby.
A baby?
Forgive me, but you said that the Dominant and his icon were bound inside the Surge almost a century ago. That would surely make him older still.
It would, if he'd been allowed to age. But the spell robbed the poor bairn of even that.
I'm sorry?
Walius was the son of my great-grandfather. Leviathan awoke within him almost immediately. But instead of allowing the lad to live out his life as a valued member of the community, my ancestors sought to put his power to other uses. Sadly for them, the Icon sensed their treachery and summoned a wave so large it would have swallowed the entire village if my ancestors hadn't stopped him.
Then it is not the Surge that binds the child, but time itself.
Yes.
Forgive me. I'm still not sure I understand.
I'm not surprised. It isn't the easiest thing to explain. Which is why it might be better if I took you to see him. Show you exactly what he has to endure.
That is why we came.
Then let us be off. There's a road that leads north from the village. It'll take us right into the Surge.
Are you bound for the Wave, tributary?
We are, Delina. Have you...
I have.
You shouldn't have any trouble now, but just in case, I would have you accept this symbol of our people.
That's very kind.
The feelings...
Should the tributary be indisposed,
Thank you.
then I bid you good time.
Our storehouse lies across the bridge. If you're short of supplies, you may find what you need there. Though we will have to ask you for recompense, poor as we are.
You are Sid, aren't you? I wonder if you...
With what exactly?
Oh, nothing too troublesome. Do you know my husband, Pavart? He's the village smith, among other things. He's a craftsman, you see, and... Perhaps. Please, I know it.
Which flower?
The sweet little blue ones that grow... We use them to dye our fabrics. You don't need to go to the trouble of picking them yourself, though. Just speak to the field hands and ask them...
2 basket.
How may I be of service? My name is Delina. By way of example, as I'm sure you're aware, the secret of the spell itself. So they built the cairns. And thus we hid ourselves away. Our story began after the fall of Drake's Horn. Till next our streams cross.
Speak to the flower pickers by the pond. Tell them it's...
I'm not arguing. The child must...
Excuse me. Pavard's wife tasked me with collecting some.
Ah. Well, go on then. Don't an old fool Pavard may be.
Ah,
Thank you. Forgive my presumptuous...
wow.
It is. I'm much obliged. They really are...
Aren't they just? Legend has it that when our people fled from, and as they wandered high and low across... So when we finally put...
Well, that's 2 basketfuls. Time to visit Pavard.
Hear me, mine ancestors.
Your wife asked...
Come out!
I'm sorry. It's just my husband can be a bit, what with you being a swordsman like and him being...
The only reason he couldn't turn to me for help, I'm pretty much done with him now, though. But, for the record, the tributary said that... Still, here we are.
All right.
All right, then.
You use them for dyeing.
Aye. We use it to stain the cloth for our tunic.
As modes of water.
That's right. The ceaseless rill, it's called. It symbolises the river, and no matter how that river has ebbed... I shall get...
Oh, well.
Wasn't it just...
Yes? Better than you. Will that do you? Better than you. Will that do you? A good tide to you.
What do you think the tributary sees in those outsiders?
Oh, I'll have her. Oh, if you're after something from the storehouse, she will have to charge you for the goods.
I understand.
Saying that,
Ah, right.
she's got her hands full with the inventory, you see. It should have been my daughter. Ah, the heavens, oh.
If you'd like me to keep an eye...
Oh, no. Could I?
Of course not.
I hope not. But I've scoured the entire village for her. Aye, that she is. Oh, if she wanted to watch you arrive, she'd have made for the low gate where you first came in.
All right.
me of mine ancestors.
Excuse me. You haven't seen the storekeeper's daughter, have you?
Little Ruka? She went out through the gate, not long.
Out of the village?
Aye. She does it all the time. There's a path off to the left which leads down to the river. Nice little spot, that. And safe as you like. The beast, that's where she'll be.
I will. This must be the path.
It's you!
You must be Ruka.
You know my name? Can you lot read mine?
Your father asked me. You left without telling him where you...
But I went to look...
Well, now you found me.
All right, and on the way home, you can tell me all about...
Thank you for bringing her home. And sorry for the trouble.
Oh, no. It was a...
Daddy, did you know that there are villages 10 times as big...
Spain? What are the people...
Are we the only ones she's...
That you are. A few of us might make the occasional trip to shore for supplies, but for the most...
Yes.
Well, they make for fine foundations. They're masons. That's one thing we don't have to worry about. Medicines, metals for tool making, anything like that. We have to dress up as travelling merchants and make a trip to the outside.
Aye. And now Ruka's back. My wife.
So please, do make good use of our store. It's a pity nothing but the foundations were left standing.
Thanks for bringing me daughter back. I don't grudge her looking for adventure, but anyway. Now we've got the inventory done. I will have to charge you.
Here you are. May it serve you well. Well, if you're sure you need it, may it serve you well. Well, if you're sure you need it, may it serve you well. Very well. I will have to charge you. Then I bid you good tide.
What do you think the tributary season was outside?
How long do you think this... Ma'am, I want to play with the others.
Well, you should have thought about that.
You're Lady Shula's friend, aren't you? Lady Shula says that if I want to be tributary one day, I have to learn my letters just like she did. But what good are letters?
Did you hear that, girl?
Off to the surge, are you? Well, just you stay close to the tributary. Don't want you getting lost in the forest.
There's a pair of ships just up ahead.
Ships? But are we not still leagues from the shore?
The quickest route to the surge is due east, past the second galley.
Shula, how did these ships come to be here?
What do you imagine happens when an icon of water gets angry?
Really, brother, did you have to ask?
Tonberries. Foul creatures consumed by their hatred for everyone and everything.
Everything save the sharp knives, it seems.
All yours, Torgal!
I can smell the sea.
It's not far now.
How will we reach the surge?
We'll follow the coastline north. There's a bridge that'll take us across to the cape. You don't want to go down there. Trust me.
Do I even want to ask why?
Might I inquire about the ray of light?
It's what prevents the surge from being reclaimed by the sea. And Wallace by his feet.
You said before that the child is bound within the surge. But you've yet to tell us how we're meant to reach him. I trust we won't have to hold our breath.
No. The surge wraps around the cape without engulfing it. If we continue to its tip, there is a path down to the seabed. And the wave's origin.
All right. It won't be the first dominant we've met at the bottom of the ocean.
It's not much further now.
The path seems well kept. Do you and the villagers often come this way?
Only me. Once every new moon without fail. It is my duty both as village elder and Walyus's descendant.
But surely no one blames you for what happened.
You misunderstand. I do it because I want to. Suffering you will soon witness with your own eye. The forest grows quickly here. Left unattended, the path would be reclaimed in a matter of moons.
Does the light point the way to the child?
It does indeed.
Look at all the droplets of water suspended in midair.
Where they have remained untouched by time for 80 summers.
It's not right.
No. It's not.
There. Up ahead. Down in the center. Follow me.
He's still primed.
I'll never forget my first priming. The fear. And I was old enough to understand what was happening. One can only imagine how this poor child felt.
He is the victim of an unforgivable sin, committed by people who saw him as nothing but a means to an end. He must be so frightened.
Then I'll ease his burden.
You don't mean?
I'm not going to hurt him. Contrary to the tales, I don't go around killing dominants for no reason. What if I told you there was a way to remove Wallace's icon?
I'd tell you you were a madman.
It's hard to believe, I know. But it can be done. Though, it isn't without its risks. Part of the icon remains no matter what.
So, it might still come to violence?
I don't know. It depends on the dominant. I've seen things end well, and I've seen things spiral out of control. But I do know one thing. If we turn our backs on this child, there will be no end to his suffering. And I think that a worse fate than the alternative. Don't you?
Very well. Do what you must. And whatever happens, I will own the consequences.
Don't be afraid, little one. Let me bear the weight. I think so. I can feel the icon inside me. But something's wrong. He wasn't just afraid. He was angry. All right. Let's see what you've given me.
Leviathan!
No, just a legend, but a formidable adversary nonetheless.
Is everyone all right?
He seems calmer now.
You said Walius was frozen in time. But he knew we were here. How?
I don't know. He's never reacted to any...
The child has been bound for nigh on a century. If he has been conscious from the first, we must remove the seal at once.
It's not that simple. I wish it were. There's more to this tale.
I see.
I'm sorry, Walius. So, part of the...
No.
Good. If you want to know the rest.
Of course.
How may I be of service? Fare you well, my lord.
To understand the spell which binds Walyas, you must first know who we are, and what drove my forebears to commit such an atrocity.
This tapestry
is our story, the one that brought us here. After generations of wandering, my people sought refuge in northeastern Storm, some 170 years ago. But in exchange for our safety, the Gregorian Church demanded we renounce our faith, and branded us heretics when we could not.
To be exterminated, as a lesson to others.
And so was it chronicled in the Imperial histories, for anything less would have made the Church seem weak. Yet a handful survived. The few who did fled north and west, and in doing so discovered two things that would forever shape our fates. The first was an old legend, revealing how to make your very own Mother Crystal.
I've heard that one before.
Yes, yet it gave them new hope, however false. Our ancestors convinced themselves that they could recreate the divine if they could only find a strong enough heart. A living being capable of channeling torrents of ether. And the heavens provided.
A dominant Walyas.
They'd stumbled across a nostrum in an ancient ruin, which they believed could provoke a sudden outpouring of a creature's ether. They meant to enrage his icon. Leviathan would have destroyed everything, had our people not made their second important discovery. A means to stop time itself.
Where did they find that? The Northerners had no such magics, or they would have used them.
When our ancestors first arrived, the land was uninhabited, save for an old witch who lived on the highest peak. Her body had been consumed by the curse, a cruel payment for her long years of service to the Northern Thanes. So desperate were they to prevent the fall of Drake's Eye, they'd forced her to devise a spell to stop time.
But Drake's Eye did fall.
It did. When she finally perfected the necessary magics, it was already too late. As punishment for her fate, the Thanes exiled her to this forsaken place to live out the few days she had left. Knowing her suffering, our ancestors cared for her as best they could, and in return, she gifted them her spell. That even though she should die, her legacy might live on. So armed with both the knowledge of the ancients and the secrets of time, our ancestors settled upon an ambitious plan. They would create a new Mother Crystal, and enchant it that it might endure for all eternity. Thus would our people's wandering, our suffering, finally end, and prosperity visit us once more. And all it would require was the sacrifice of a single child. A small price to pay, or so they believed.
Another victim of man's blind reliance on... So we know the seal source. How do we break it and restore the flow of time?
Do you recall the dome of light on top of the... cliffs to the west? Inside lie the ruins of an old temple. It was there that the witch... But it's been a long time, and now there are other...
Then we shall go prepared for... That said, it may be best if one of...
You think the village could...
We saw the ether flow from Wallius in all directions, but only... There will be more. And should even one make its way here, I doubt the...
Then I shall stay. The Phoenix will see your people safe, tributary.
You have my thanks.
Very well. We should depart at once. I fear time may no longer be a luxury we can afford.
The Vare is not easy to find. We must first head north, and then west, deeper into the forest.
The child.
Yes? I'd like to see another smith do better. A good tide to you.
Just...
Is everything...
Ah, you're the outsider. And this is Talor, one of my patients.
Nothing too serious.
I hope so.
But...
This affliction, it's like nothing I've ever seen. And my most powerful. I'm starting to wonder if his... Shula said that you were here to help us.
I'd be happy to.
You can. All I need you to do is speak to Talor's son, Pavat, over at the forge. Something must have come. The trouble is, Talor's too weak, so while you talk to Pavat, I'll pick...
All right.
Oh,
I do. Though not from the forge. Fanit...
I see.
It's no trouble, really.
Not that I know of. But then I hardly see him. Suppose he might have been a bit more...
When you say out and about, where does he...
Just round the village. Wanders over to Blazier's place most days. He's a fisher. Maybe he knows.
Maybe.
Greetings, stranger. What can I do?
Your name is Blazier, is it not?
Zelda Talor's never been ill at it.
Oh, Fanny doesn't know either. It was she who asked me to look into his recent...
Did you see anything strange on your way back from the shore? Are you certain? It was like he was expecting something to happen. It was just...
Well, that certainly does. And it might just be what...
Ah, don't mention it.
Let's see what the healer makes of this.
Spoke with Werder, but she couldn't tell me anything.
Nothing conclusive. Blazier, the fisherman. He kept asking him if he'd seen anything unusual there on his way.
The forest, surely.
But then...
I can't say for sure. You may have encountered them during your time.
And you think they may have...
I do. At least in a way. Oh, no, it's a lot to ask, but there's an altar there. And if my... Please. I'll explain everything when you return, but time flows fast. I beg you.
Leave me be. Let me go. No sign of the child.
My lord, may I speak? There is a matter with which...
Of course, what is it?
Please.
Something serious, then.
Yes. I was passing by the low gate when I saw a figure moving among the trees up on the cloak. At first... But the more I think about it...
And you're sure it wasn't?
Positive. Of course, it could just be my imagination playing. But if it is who I think it is, would you go and see?
Very well. Whether the man you saw is who you believe him to be or not, we need to know. It may yet be someone else.
Perhaps. Just promise me that...
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yamila, this man you saw, might he be the customer you told me of?
The customer?
I'll explain later.
I suspect two dominants can handle whatever it is that awaits you atop that peak.
And what are you two for?
Oh, I never should have let him go alone. Ty, take me, what am I gonna do? You! Shula said you were a force to be reckoned with. Are you? Hey? Oh, sorry, I'm worried about a friend of mine. Would you help me
I can...
Of course, you know about the glamour our ancestors cast to keep this place...
Shula told...
Right, so you know the cairns we use to maintain the spell, if it weren't for the likes of us.
So your friend went into the forest?
Aye, he said he was... There are two cairns out that way, one by the banks of the Swift Run, and another...
All right.
His name's Nassef, he's about... If you could track him down and see that he's come to no harm, I'd be much obliged. I'll...
Very well. One cairn by the ships, another by the river. Better get moving.
Stranger. Are you a rider by any chance?
I am.
Oh, I can and not just any stables. Something tells me you've never been one to ride half-stop. If I had a guess, I'd say your bird.
Nothing. I have, yes. I suppose they are rather rare.
This, I've got to...
I would if I could, but I don't.
Me dad's got a boat. And it'd be perfect timing and all. He's preparing for a trip beyond the wall.
You would? All right, then.
He'll be in the storehouse on the other side.
Bastard things.
You one of the...
I am.
I am.
She's asked to see my chocobo, but...
Or you could just say no.
Well, truth be told, I didn't take the idea seriously at first.
Well, if you're sure that's what you want. Still, I'll need you to bring us a mimic gourd or two to keep...
And...
Oh, don't ask me. It's been years since I last brought a choc...
Well, the man who made Ambrosius tack lived in Martha's Rest, and so I suppose...
I'll be sailing over to Northreach soon to pick up some supplies. While I do...
immortal. Breath of the Arbor.
Who's there? Stop!
No! No! Hang on! I'm coming!
Don't eat me! I'll give you gut rot, I swear!
Stand back. I'll handle this. Are you all right?
I'm more than all right.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Hervey!
I came to see you. Oh, my little canary, it's been...
Thank you,
Who is he?
Hervey. One of many clients from my employment beyond the wall.
One of many clients? We spoke, and then you upped and vanished.
I left you a note, didn't I? I told you I was sorry, and I told you not to look for me.
The flame of your love was...
Hervey.
I was walking by the coast near Northreach when I saw a lady who looked like you. The next moment, she and her companions were jumping in a skiff and sailing out to...
It must have been Shula bringing... So what? You rode, found a nose...
And as I did, the skies changed.
That!
Oh, why did you come? I cannot leave my people.
I'm to meet your family. Oh.
But first, follow me, Hervey.
To the end of the world and beyond.
You should never have found this place. How could I be so careless?
Don't blame yourself. I doubt anything could have kept that man away. There's nothing to forgive. You two met at the Vale, I take.
When I worked there, yes. To earn the coin that And for that reason, some of us seek employment beyond the wall.
And so you supported your...
I did. And I have never I also found Hervey. But our love could never be. I knew that if I revealed...
What will happen to him now?
Since our people settled...
I see.
That was before my time, you understand? I've never had to make a decision like this before. Yamila, know that I do not blame you for any of this. It was me. This was my mistake.
Thank you, tributary. I
will take that into consideration. But yours is not the only voice I must listen...
Of course. Come what may. I left Hervey because I couldn't turn my back on my family.
I don't care what happens to me. Now I've found my little canary. I'm not going.
I remember you.
She's very well. Thank you.
Oh, don't thank me. You're the one. Anyway, what brings you to the rest?
I was hoping to purchase a mimit, and I thought you might be able to tell me where I could find one.
Oh, reckon I could do better than that. Just so happens, I've got a whole carload of the blasted things. Not a buyer.
Really?
Aye, you be doing it, but just be on the lookout for a while.
I will.
Oh, you're very welcome. And in times like these...
We certainly... Northreach, then. Wouldn't want... And his father waiting.
And how might I help the garrison today?
And a hero
I told the dame I would take the largest residence.
Work with the people of Northreach to rebuild the empire.
Come on. Fly, Ambrosia.
And this must be...
I have the mimic or two.
Thank you kindly.
We're going to take a little trip across the Bane. Well, we made it.
She is as white as snow.
Brave, too. The mimic gourd will have played its part, of course, but passing through the walls enough...
Ambrosia's been through a lot.
Not with her beloved master.
No. It's you who looks after me, isn't it, girl?
Anyway, thanks for...
And if you and Ambrosia need ferrying back to North...
Thank you.
And once everyone left me.
Oh, ceaseless rail,
Still alive, are you? Going purse weighing you down? Come again. Or don't, Clive. So... No. Take care.
Oh, ceaseless rail, guy.
Oh!
Bastard things.
After the fall of our ancestors' mother crystal, the moats of water
Come on.
Before we turned east at the shipwrecks to reach the coast. Now we must head in the opposite direction.
Left it is then.
Those won't be friendly.
No need to ride from here. If there's one thing I know about beastmen, is that they love to hide in the dark. What are they up to? Some sort of ritual. Sorry to disturb you. silver chain. I doubt the Tomberries made it. Well, here's the cairn. But no sign. To the riverbank. Who have we here? I'm looking for a man. Ah. You're a hunter, yes?
There's a bridge further down the path. Blasted thing got... But if I remember rightly...
Maybe.
Don't mention it. I'll keep an eye out too. Perhaps he just got delayed or something.
Let's hope so. This must be the bridge the hunter was talking about.
Hold on!
I'm the tributary's guest.
I am?
Your friend Katav asked...
I was so focused on attuning the...
How exactly do they...
Oh, there are crystals inside. Should the ether cease to flow through too many of them, our shroud would quickly unravel.
And an important job it is.
Yeah, the truth is, me and Katav usually work together, watching each other.
So you found him?
Not before the local fauna did.
Expect you'll be wanting someone to escort you back to...
When you're next in Haven, be sure to come and see us.
If you insist.
I thought I'd lost you. But you suddenly... Thank you. Nasev told me everything.
All that matters, far be it from me to tell you.
Or if we have to, maybe we should think about casting the glamour on. It'd take its toll, of course, but it'd beat letting the Cairns fall.
I'd rather not. We'd only succeed in adding...
Your bearers.
That we are, thank the tides. The others can't attune to the crystal.
So?
We're forced to. No. From what I've heard of our people are few enough as it is. If we started turning on each other,
They would.
Anyway, all's well that ends well, eh?
Bastard things.
Well, I'm still none the...
Forgive me. This...
Won by men of the faith.
To understand that, you need... They feed, and some say that if you render them an offering, some talk...
So you think someone's...
I can't say for sure, but given his fear of the forest and the...
Does Talor have any enemies in the village?
No, I believe. But there's more to the tale, you see. It's said that if you attempt to curse...
You're saying he...
In trying...
When my father was younger, he was one of the few permitted to venture. He told us that when he journeyed to Sandbreck, he'd wear that chain to disguise...
Did they ever catch him in his deception?
Not that he ever told me.
Come now. Let's not waste time
All right.
Thank you.
Aye, and thanks for going to all this... We call it an adder stone. It's a gatherer's charm. Reacts to certain... If you find anything, see that you bring it back to me.
I am, thank you.
Yes?
Time to fight.
There's a large gate up ahead, and beyond it, a cluster of ancient ruins. The temple, or the Heir of Hours as my people call it, can only be reached by passing through them. The forest is crawling with life, most of it hungry, which is why we make sure this gate stays shut.
And why you carry that impressive-looking axe, I presume.
Noticed her, have you?
The temple is up there.
Don't worry. Those cliffs aren't the only way to the top. Careful.
Are these the ruins?
Yes. As far as we can tell, they're part of the same complex as the temple itself.
To think of all the people who must once have lived here.
petrol ready.
It isn't only Haven's blacksmith that has an appetite for these things.
These remind me of home.
You're from the north, then?
Yes. And no.
I see. Do you see that cave up ahead? Whoever lived here carved a flight
away to the...
And whatever it...
There. The temple that time forgot.
And the Varys inside?
Yes. You can see the spell's path from the nave.
What is it?
I don't know. It's probably nothing.
Forgive me, but why build the Vare here?
The spell was originally meant to be cast on Drake's Eye, and this was the only place with an unbroken line of sight.